I need another heavy. I've got TB and a quick draw.
I want to get fairly tight to it. Now, anybody who's going to be working range, I'm going to need you to fade right on this. And anybody's running short is going to stay towards the top of the caldera if we're going to come at them.
I have you in the Griff. Griffin.
Sounds good. Well, that's the thing. We got to get to brawling range, so I may be moving us right up to the hoop if we have to.
Wolverine nach Charlie 4.
It's fine, chill out, man, it's fine, it's just a 5-star.
Komm Leute, redet miteinander.
15 seconds.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't die.
Guys,
15 seconds, don't die.
guys. 3, 2, 1.
Charlie Dar, CT, yellow.
Okay, good. Just release if you go
There. To your left, is there. Sorry, shit. So, jetzt guys, hinter die Indie-Pocken.
Mediums be prepared to pull back E40 towards the E5 border. On my mark.
Left side, come on! Like now, I need strikes on OP barrel. Wire our strikes up.
Die Hauptgruppe rechts, Uferlinie.
They have 3 mechs sitting on the left side when you pass over.
Overheating is bad.
Both legs on the Griffin. Hit the Griffin.
Sorry about that. That was such a
That's right. I'm gonna spawn Lance you guys in Charlie, Lance you guys in Bravo. That's B2C1.
This third drop is 2 lights, 2 mediums, 2 heavies, 2 assaults.
Jetzt in die Breite, zieht euch in die Breite.
Lights, watch our backs. We're gonna about base and take up position in Bravo 6.
Ja, kurz Aufschaltung Delta 4, 3 Stück, 2 Mediums einleiten, wie ich es richtig gesehen habe.
Make a firing line.
C4 Tactical Hill, boys.
Fox.
Laufen unter ECM, haben 2 durchlaufen, 10 Bravo 4.
And get ready to hit people coming from our right.
Charlie on the left, Charlie, a Hellbringer on the left.
Okay, let's group up towards the left. We're gonna press through Bravo 3 to 4. I think they're kind of spread out.
Check yourselves, make sure you've got, UAV cool shot.
Hey, here they come, they're pushing hard, guys.
Deco. Tez on.
Go.
Oh, got a contact here, Bravo 3.
Nice, Marshall. I'm on Delta Griffin.
We'll get cross it then, get in their face. They got a highlighter, they just push up on Theta. We need help on Theta. Up on Theta. Yep, that's the noise. Go. Let's finish this. Full pressure, guys. Full pressure. They're down low. They're down low in Charlie 3. Get the f***ing arm, Jackson.
Jackson, cool shot.
Go. I got him.
Go, P3, go.
Echo, go.
Get over your medium, guys. Get Echo Stormcrow.
God, I suck as a pilot, but thank I packed my skill.
I'm sorry that you died, sweet girls, but we will send a reasonably nice letter to your family. To the paper doll. Make sure you guys are shooting the correct legs. Be careful of the collisions. I don't want to hear complaints about it. Work around it. Let's play this game.
I need another heavy. I've got TB and a quick draw.
I want to get fairly tight to it. Now, anybody who's going to be working range, I'm going to need you to fade right on this. And anybody's running short is going to stay towards the top of the caldera if we're going to come at them.
I have you in the Griff. Griffin.
Sounds good. Well, that's the thing. We got to get to brawling range, so I may be moving us right up to the hoop if we have to.
Wolverine nach Charlie 4.
It's fine, chill out, man, it's fine, it's just a 5-star.
Komm Leute, redet miteinander.
15 seconds.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't die. 15 seconds, don't die.
Guys. 3, 2, 1.
Charlie Dar, CT, yellow.
Okay, go get your police if you get
Dire. To your left, there's a... Sorry, Richard. So, jetzt guys, hinter die Indie-Pockets,
Mediums be prepared to pull back E40 towards the E5 border. On my mark.
left side. Come on. Like now, I need strikes on OP barrel. Wire our strikes up.
Die Hauptgruppe rechts, Uferlinie.
They have 3 mechs sitting on the left side when you pass over.
Overheating is bad.
Both legs on the Griffin. Hit the Griffin.
Sorry about that. That was such a
That's right. I'm gonna spawn Lance, you guys in Charlie, Lance, you guys in Bravo. That's B2C1.
This third drop is 2 lights, 2 mediums, 2 heavies, 2 assaults.
Jetzt in die Breite, zieht euch in die Breite.
Lights, watch our backs. We're gonna about base and take up position in Bravo 6.
Ja, kurz Aufschaltung Delta 4, 3 Stück, 2 Mediums, ein Light, wie ich es richtig gesehen habe.
Make a firing line. C4 Tactical Hill, boys. Fox.
Laufen unter ECM, hab 2 durchlaufen, 10 Bravo 4.
And get ready to hit people coming from our right.
Charlie on the left, Charlie, Hellbringer on the left.
Okay, let's group up towards the left. We're gonna press through Bravo 3 to Bravo 4. I think they're kind of spread out. Check yourselves, make sure you've got, UAV cool shot. Here they come, they're pushing hard, guys.
Decro. Tez on.
Go.
Oh, got a contact here, Bravo 3.
Nice, Marshall. I'm on Delta Griffin.
We'll get cross it then, get in their face. They got a highlighter, they just push up on Theta. We need help on Theta. Up on Theta. Yep, that's the noise. Go. Let's finish this. Full pressure, guys. Full pressure. They're down low. They're down low in Charlie 3. Get the f***ing arm, Jackson.
Jackson, cool shot.
Golf. I got him.
Go, P3, go.
Echo, go.
Get over on your medium, guys. Get Echo Stormcrow. God, I suck as a pilot, but thank I packed my skill. I'm sorry that you died, sweet girls, but we will send a reasonably nice letter to your family.
Greetings, Mech Warriors, and welcome to MRBC Season 7 preview match between 42 Smoke Jays and SiG. Should be a pretty exciting one. Been looking forward to watching this one all week, and hopefully we have a pretty good match here. I am Bandit B17 from the Marine Mechs, and with me, as usual, is MDM00 from the Marine Mechs as well. So, we did one MRBC preview already with the new rule set, and it was Atari Scorpions versus SJR.
Yep.
I thought that was an extremely exciting match to watch. I don't know about you guys, but I thought the new rule set seemed to work really well. It forced encounters and things like that, really changed the face of what can happen in an MRBC match. So, definitely interesting to see what happens tonight, see if either team runs it a little bit differently, if people, focus more on cap points instead of necessarily killing each other, things like that. We saw a couple instances in SJR versus AS where it looked like AS had it in the bag. Like one of them, they completely decimated SJR on, I believe that was Crimson Strait.
Yep.
But SJR made the expert call to then take the remaining few mechs, hide one of them, and take the other for a late cap. Because they had caps and had the cap advantage. And at some point during the skirmish, they had an additional cap. So I believe it was a 4 cap at that point.
Yeah, they had a 4 cap with 2 mechs remaining, and basically played the end game for the caps. They got smashed in the lower city kind of side of Crimson Strait along the water, and really did not brawl well at all, which was a little bit of a surprise and kind of not how we expected the map to go. But they did a great job recovering, and unfortunately AS didn't have the speed to deal with the caps, and they weren't able to discover the last mech alive at the end of the game that was hiding.
And it was intense because AS was decapping the last SJR point, and they were 2 seconds away from turning it yellow when SJR ended up winning it. So let's say somebody didn't hesitate and was able to start decapping 2 seconds earlier. What would have happened? Like, you got that last blackjack, I think it was alive. He is close to another point, and he was alone. So he could have then woke up, sprinted to that point, and maybe pushed it long enough to get those last couple tickets. Either way, like, that 2 seconds is the difference between victory and defeat on that map. And that, even though, you had this big intense battle, and then it kind of tapered off, and it was a lot of running around and stuff like that, that was still very exciting to watch because... both sides were doing exactly what they needed to do to win, and you had a difference of 2 seconds, and that was really awesome.
Yeah, and I think what we've seen so far is really the kind of a different sort of end game play. I think you see some awareness that the cap points are important, that you need them, but also realization from the commanders that you can't just run around and cap all game. You have to engage. But the end game has kind of gone from this typically, very, the kind of we got this in the bag sort of mindset. Just clean them up. You win the brawl. The rest of it's just get the stragglers. Don't let yourself get strung out too badly, and you're fine. Now all of a sudden we've got this, you're in the middle of a brawl, and you've got to be thinking, what happens if we lose this brawl? Or what happens if we win this brawl? Are we still in a position to win the match? So we're seeing kind of the end game, I think, is the biggest effect of some of these conquest changes. But it does allow for a little more strategy than maybe what we're used to seeing out of the skirmish competitive matches. So far... admittedly, we only had the AS versus SJR that we streamed, but so far we've seen maybe a little bit more strategy in some matches that previously in a skirmish situation would have been easy victories wind up being defeats, and that's kind of an interesting little thing that kind of a true test of drop commanding, right? To see who's on their A game and who's not.
And one thing to keep in mind as well is even though it was kind of snatching victory from the mouth of defeat or whatever, especially on Crimson, where AS have ultimately killed 7 mechs but still lost the match, they still get rewarded for their efforts in the MRBC rule set currently. The loser of a match still gets 25,000 C-bills, which is the scoring system for MRBC if you're not familiar. 25,000 C-bills per mech destroyed. So if you kill 7 mechs, you get a payout of 175,000 C-bills. That's pretty damn decent. The winner still gets 300,000 C-bills, so they get essentially 8 kills worth and 100,000 for the victory itself.
Yeah.
But the fact that you were able to get 175,000, and I believe on that map also they got the bonus for killing the commander and keeping their commander alive, so that's an additional 50,000 C-bills. They were able to keep that gap pretty close for it being a loss. Now, I'm sure they would have rather had the win, but it's not just a 0-1 situation. The scoring really rewards close matches, and blowouts are pretty much punished. So, they, all in all, we kind of tallied up what the score for that match was. It was a 3-2 decision, but they were right there. Like, that could have gone either way on the actual C-bill side of things, and that's where the additional bonuses from uploading your VODs and uploading screenshots and all that stuff, all that important stuff, not committing an artillery strike penalty or whatever, airstrike penalty, things like that. That all matters at that point.
Yep.
And
Yeah, and it was surprising how close it wound up being just in the C-bill regime, even for that match, that, well, you're right, clearly you always want to win. At the very least, you can take a close loss and say, you know what, we still put ourselves in a situation that maybe later on in the season we're not already out of the runnings for first place. You're keeping yourself close to the lead, even if you might not win every match. If you can do well in those matches, I think you'll find yourself doing fairly well in your division for MRBC this season.
Absolutely. So if anybody out there is interested in MRBC and you're currently not in MRBC in any way, shape, or form, either your team's not, or apparently I have an invalid loadout. That's interesting. Failed to select changed mechs. All right, that was interesting. We're just hopping in the lobby now, and so hopefully things will be going pretty smoothly from here on out. But if you are not in MRBC, either your team's not or you're not on a team, definitely check out MRBCleague.com and sign your team up. The MRBC is very friendly to newer, competitive, interested teams because it's a divisional system. You don't play the top tier teams when you first start out. They organize the divisions based on either previous achievements or perceived skill, and try to get it as evenly as possible. And that's why last season we saw some really fantastic close battles that were super fun to shoutcast. They did a really good job splitting some stuff up. There were some discrepancies from top to bottom, but the top 2-3 teams were all very close to each other, and it was incredibly fun to watch. So get in on the bottom level, learn something, work your way up, definitely. If you're not on a team, find one. There's plenty of teams out there that are looking for people, plenty of teams that have the patience to teach new people. Definitely take the time to do that. Get on a team, play some comp.
Yeah.
It's going to be great.
And speaking of how close teams were last season and how MRBC tries to operate with the tier system, these two teams were in Division B and North American Division B, and that division was fantastic last year.
Yep.
So I'm really looking forward to see what these two teams have to offer. They finished second and third in the runnings. I believe Deathwatch was first, right, for Div B?
Yeah, Deathwatch took it. They had
Yeah.
a lot of their Lords players playing on that at the time, so we'll see what happens to them next season, but they definitely came in and did some work. But even still, they won the division, but it was hard fought. I mean, all of these teams did a lot of damage. I want to say we only saw 2 5-0 decisions in the entire division, which is unheard of. That's unheard of, to have just 2 matches end in a 5-0 decision. Lots of 3-2s, lots of 4-1s, mostly 3-2s though, and that was some exciting stuff. Definitely exciting stuff. So, looks like they are going to be heading in shortly. Everybody's starting to ready up. So let's quick talk about what we've got on Drop 1. These guys picked the maps for this, so I didn't have a hand in selecting the maps at all. First map, we are going into Caustic Valley, and Drop 1 is 4 lights, 4 mediums, 0 heavies, 0 assaults. And per the new Season 7 rules, every single drop is going to have a maximum of 1 chassis and a maximum of 1 duplicate chassis. So we're going to be seeing on each side 7 unique mechs on either side, and that's going to be really cool. Still no strikes in Drop 1, and I don't have it listed here right now. I have to put it in there, but there will be no clan streaks in Drop 1. Clans are a little bit underpowered at the moment. However, I still think a Stormcrow bringing like 36 streak missiles can still tip the balances pretty well, especially because clan mechs are no longer restricted. They are under the same restriction as IS. So you could potentially bring 2 Streak Stormcrows. So just to be safe, we are going to ban streaks from clan streaks specifically from drop 1. But let's head in and see what they got. So Caustic Valley 4-4, very open map. And I'm gonna raise my gamma for everybody's benefit here. See if we can get something visible. Nighttime on Caustic Valley.
It sounded a lot more epic than I think it actually is, but probably the coolest thing about nighttime on Caustic Valley is all the blue glowing lava, water, something.
So I've got,
probably liquid.
on Team 2, we have SiG. They are bringing, their duplicate is a Jenner Oxide. So they have 2 Jenner Oxides. They paired it with a Firestarter A and an Arctic Cheetah. Pretty standard light mech loadout. On the medium side, we have a Stormcrow, a Nova, a Griffin 2N, ECM Brawler, and a Blackjack 1X. They did still opt to bring 2 ECM mechs, even though that is no longer a requirement. We have an immediate encounter contact, over on the 3 line here. And they are gonna, looks like Smoke Jays is heading into the Keldara in a murder ball. They're chasing down, getting some good hits on the Arctic Cheetah, and the main brawl is about to start right over the ridge line here.
And Smoke Jays is running a lot of small pulse lasers. They've got their dual mechs are 2 small pulse Stormcrows with the 10 small pulse lasers. Those things
they got the Arctic Cheetah for SiG. They're continuing their murder ball through, but now they're actually being chased. SiG has moved through the Keldara and is heading up behind them. Smoke Jays has turned around and is now setting up to receive. So we have our little bit of a standoff here. Everybody's shooting everything possible. Looks like the Griffin 2N getting down to 70%, getting pretty beat up here. A little bit of a stalemate in the center. SiG is kind of bottlenecking here. Looks like they're trading out really well. The Nova down to 51% and has moved into the back. The Griffin 2N does go down, so it is a 1-1 so far. A lot of hurt mechs on SiG right now,
it's 2-2. 2 more mechs have gone down.
2-2. Now Smoke Jays has lost another mech, but the percentages for SiG are very low. So if Smoke Jays can start focusing their fire, they can start bringing these mechs down a lot quicker. 4-3, now 4-4. Very intense brawl right over the Keldara. I'm sure heat at this point is a problem, but the Oxides with their SRMs doing some
Another
work.
mech goes down. Smoke Jays have taken the lead now.
5-4 in favor of Smoke Jays. The remaining 3 SiG mechs are relatively healthy. I wouldn't doubt seeing that Arctic Cheetah going down fairly shortly here. The Stormcrow is the focus target, though. He is laid, getting completely slammed by that Oxide. The 2 Oxides that are remaining are having a
2
field
kills
day.
just went up.
Field day. The Arctic Cheetah is about to go down as well. This is going to go in favor of SiG. It is an incredibly close battle, but I think the more heat-efficient SRMs are winning the day here. Battle's still going on. The Blackjack is still doing pretty well in terms of percentages, really showing the extra structure quirks and how well he can do. But he's got 2 Oxides pounding him in the rear. Maybe ammo will be an issue.
And now
we'll
the
see.
teams are evened up here.
It is evened up. The Arctic Cheetah only has, I think, 1 laser, so they're ignoring him, focusing all their fire on the remaining leg for the Blackjack. One of the Oxides goes down from a bad overheat. If he can keep that leg alive... All right, we are down to Oxide versus single Arctic Cheetah. I want to know how much ammo that Oxide has. Can you pop
He has 78 shots left. He has got plenty of ammo.
That is plenty to finish off this Cheetah. We'll see if he can juke him and get him to waste. The Arctic Cheetah is actually relatively fresh. He has 2 small pulse lasers remaining.
Anymore.
Not anymore.
That
is a massive volley to his chest, and there she goes.
Woo.
That was intense. 7-8 decision in favor of SiG. The SRMs were clearly the winner here.
Yeah,
I
those
mean,
Oxides are so good right now.
Absolutely. Those Oxides did some fantastic work. I bet you they did massive damage for SiG.
Take a look at those
oh my goodness.
2 400 damage mechs. Everyone else was below 200 for SiG. The 2 mechs that got over 400 were the 2 Oxides. Holy smokes.
The Oxide over on Smoke Jays did some work himself. The Blackjack did a lot of work. The Stormcrow, they did dual Stormcrows. Both of them did a lot of work on Smoke Jays' side. But bottom line, in terms of overall sustainability, the Oxides had enough ammunition to take it for the long haul and ended up sealing the deal. Did a really good job focusing the legs down on the Smoke Jays mechs. What a close decision in favor of SiG. That was start to finish, right off the bat. Everybody joined together, started doing like a mini NASCAR around the center, Caldara. Not necessarily around the Caldara, but along the 3 line of the Caldara. And that was just... It was hard to call. There's just so much going on at once, just straight up. That was incredibly impressive. Very fun to watch. So, once again, 1-0 in favor of Smoke Jays, but just loosely I can calculate SiG now has 300,000 C-bills.
That was a win for SiG, was it not?
Yeah, win for SiG. Did I say Smoke Jays just now?
You did.
Okay, that is in favor of SiG. So current C-bills just loosely is 300K for SiG, 175K for Smoke Jays. So they did good work though. Getting those 7 kills keeps them in the game, even though it was a loss for them. Still a very, very good match. So let's see. Let's see if we got a replay to work with here.
Replay starts off with a little bit of the trading we saw out of the Storm Crows for Smoke Jays. They did a really nice job, I think, those Storm Crows. The only thing I would have liked to have seen Smoke Jays do is be a little bit more aggressive. Some of those mechs for SiG were really beat up, and it seemed like it took them a little while to kind of push and maybe press the advantage. They had, I think, the advantage in the damage, but not necessarily the aggressiveness. By the time they did push, it was more evened out. The other thing I think I did notice during that match was that Tolson was in the Oxide for the Smoke Jays. He did kill himself. I'd love to see what he did, whether it was overheating or legging himself. But, in a match that close, unfortunately, when you see the same color kill themselves sort of thing, it makes it tough.
Absolutely.
And we're going to do a giveaway right now after drop 1, so... please type !raffle into the chat, and we will give away something for you guys to enjoy. Let's see.
Excellent. Yeah, it looks like your replay stream is still a little fuzzy. This will work for now, but if there's a lot of complaints about it, I will switch over to my YouTube channel for the replays. That's no problem. Hopefully we can figure out what's causing the quality issues on your end, because it's strange.
Yeah.
But definitely, if you guys have any feedback for us, go ahead and type that into chat. Obviously, there is a 3-minute delay right now, so we won't be able to change it instantly or anything like that. If any of the audio levels are a problem or anything, toss it out there, and we will do our best to make those changes. So, very good hits on that blackjack right there. They did open up 2 shoulders on him, but ultimately cored him down. It just shows the resiliency of those blackjacks, though. They can tank like crazy. Uber shoots here in the replay right now in his Stormcrow C, running, looks like the Party Crow 12 small pulse lasers, fighting in that Caldera with those lasers.
That's really hot.
I think that was a really good. I don't necessarily think that SiG had control of where the fight was going to take place, because we really did have just a straight up murder ball NASCAR rotation and stuff. But fighting in the Caldera with those 2 Oxides, I think was very good for them. Those SRMs are able to go much longer, and you can see how many shots he can put out, and he's putting these out relatively accurately on this blackjack here. A little bit of spread because of the natural bumps and stuff in this map that causes your mech to jerk up and down and stuff, but still, I mean, the amount of damage he's putting out, riding the heat at like 80%, pretty solid the entire time. That's some very good stuff right now. One of the Oxides did ultimately shut down. I think he wanted to seal the deal, and ended up shutting down in front of the blackjack, and the blackjack punished him for that. But these SRMs, the heat efficiency for the amount of DPS you can put out, fighting in that Caldera really gave them an advantage, bringing the double Oxide. So that was really well done. Now that shot to the center, brutal. Like any hope that Arctic Cheetah had to maybe run
one shot and it's gone.
Run out the ammo. That CT shot was just insane. So very well done by Dirty Dan to seal the deal at the end there.
Yeah, I'm seeing some comments here that it seemed like Smoke Jays had the damage totals lead,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's right.
Too much
when
spread,
we were watching
probably.
that match, it was just too much spread. I saw a lot of SiG mechs that were really beat up, but they had side torsos open, CTs open, arms open. They basically spread all their. They did a great job spreading the damage to all the components on their mechs, and it kept them alive long enough to keep them in the match. I feel like really, just in terms of the amount of damage done, Smoke Jays did far more. But it comes down to if you can't put your damage all in the same component, it's not going to help you. Look at me, I'm not paying attention to the raffle.
Shit. Yeah, reopen that raffle, man.
Yeah.
Tell him to type it again.
Yeah, so I was daydreaming there. Everybody needs to type that again. I'll type it in the chat.
So this is for MD's first attempt at taking over the raffles for me, so I have less stuff to pay attention to. So good job, MD. Good start. But no, that's fine. But two sides though. Like you got obviously SiG did a fantastic job spreading the damage. Excellent job. Not going to sell that short at all. But I'm sure part of that has to do with Smoke Jays has to get their shots on target better as well. Whether one team did one thing better or not, ultimately it came out in favor of SiG. The damage numbers were huge for Smoke Jays. Their output was fantastic. They got to get those on the money and take those shots because, especially playing around on the Caldara, you can't do that much damage and not win the match in a hot center
it's
Caldara like that. Like, you gotta land every shot that you can, and that's something that everybody has to work on. So I'm not pointing this out just for them. Everybody has to work on this all the time. It's just the fact of life of this game. You shoot more accurately than the other team, you're going to start winning your matches. Your damage numbers will probably be lower than the other team, but you'll come out ahead, and that's what we saw from SiG. So definitely a close first match. Excited to see what happens on match 2. Crimson Straight. This is 2 lights, 4 mediums, 2 heavies. This is still on skirmish, just like the first one is. Same thing as before, max 1 chassis, max 1 duplicate, that's for both clan and IS. Still no strikes.
Yep.
Streaks are allowed here, a lot less light mechs running around, but I haven't seen too many people bringing streaks in drop 2. Again, if they want to, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and this Crimson Straight was the one that we saw the great match between Antari Scorpions and SJR, so again, it's one of those things. This match obviously is a skirmish, but I think as a drop commander, as you start watching these, you're going to have to try and think, what would we do if we got this on Conquest, and how would we handle that sort of situation? Let's see.
One thing I'm just going to throw out now, and I'll re-mention it in the middle once the match starts, because they are readying up, and we're going to be getting started really soon here. Because this is not an official MRBC match, this is technically a scrimmage. These teams are practicing right now. This is not a true scored match. Just want to make sure that that's clear. Because of that, Smoke Jays has agreed to allow an extra player for SiG to immediately kill himself at the beginning of the match and spectate. So that this is a training tool for them, and I'm 100% on board with that. So you will see somebody die right away, and I'm sure I'll call the scores wrong at some point, and we'll just have to remember that one of their guys is dead. But that will happen, so don't be confused as to why that is happening. So both teams are ready. We're going to be heading in relatively soon here. Before we pop in, you want to go ahead and finish the drawing?
Yeah, I'm about to close it here. Just getting last call for anyone who missed it.
Awesome. So that was exciting. That was definitely exciting. I think drop 1s have always been relatively exciting. I think especially not having HPG makes it even more exciting. But let's see if we can carry that that excitement into the rest of the 4 drops here.
Congratulations to Wispy for winning the raffle. We noticed you are not following MRBC League. We are only judging you mildly for that, so if you do follow them, we will judge you a little less.
I
But
do
regardless-
suggest following both MRBC League
Yeah.
and Bandit B17, please, because that will make it easier when I send the codes out. That it will not put, my message to you in the spam folder. So follow both of us definitely, and we'll see what happens here. So looks like SiG now I'm looking at, they do have an ER large laser Raven 4X. These guys are island side. Large laser Enforcer 4R. Panther with 2 large lasers. 3 large laser Enforcer. Interesting to see the Panther. I haven't seen many Panthers used in comp lately, but, you know, we're just getting our feet wet in the new mechs that are used from the last Balance Pants. One good example of that, the Black Knight we've been seeing a lot more of lately.
And there's a Black Knight on the Smoke Jays, but they went a full brawl deck. These are small pulse SRM mechs on Smoke Jays, and they are heading right to the saddle. Looks like we're going to get a brawl push from the saddle towards the island running a range deck. This ought to be pretty
This
interesting.
is going to
see how
be
it can handle
intense. So SiG has gone full island, full brawl, and they are strung out in a nice straight line here. So the mostly large lasers, not ER large lasers, so the initial breach over the saddle should be relatively easy. But I definitely have to warn them on the spread of their mechs here. Somebody's going to have to hold up, and they're going to have to go together. Yeah, it looks like they are holding up, and they are going to get ready for the actual murder ball push. This is going to be some intense shit right here. Large lasers, it's going to be harder to get a lot of meaningful damage on these mechs before they drop into the water. That might work well for these guys if they can keep the spread. Look at those guys rocking side to side, spreading very well. Most of the shots to center torsos, not focusing on legs, especially dropping into the water. The Kintaro is getting the brunt of the hit right now. His job at this point...
And here goes the lights. The lights are now engaged.
That Kintaro's job is to try and spread as much as possible just to allow his team to reach brawl range. They have reached brawl range without losing a single mech. That is very good for Smoke Jays.
The light mechs have torn up this Black Knight here. That looks like they're going to be their first target, and they are getting on him. But a mech does go down.
Kintaro does go down. He was the initial tank. It is now 1-1 even match, but the brawl has started against a lot of these large lasers, so that should be in favor of Smoke Jays if they can properly focus. They are splitting up into several smaller battles. They are killing the Blackjack 3 up on top.
Blackjack just went down.
The Light and the Griffin are kind of in water now, getting focused. These two guys are in a very sticky position. The Griffin 3M is going to take a lot of hits here. I think we got heat problems for SiG right now, but this Griffin should be down relatively quick. While that was happening, though, many more SiG mechs did go down, so they finally do take the Griffin down, but the Grasshopper is going to start getting focused. The Panther is going to go down, and the Enforcer is going to go down here. I wouldn't be surprised to see this go in favor of Smoke Jays. They did a really good job closing that gap, but they still have to finish the job and take out that Grasshopper. There he goes.
Grasshopper just went down.
So we got the Enforcer over here getting rocked down. The Panther is now dead. So there, it looks to me like there is just 2 mechs remaining for SiG. What a fantastic brawl rush. That was a textbook.
It was a nice job.
Brawl rush. Now the Raven 4X has gained some pretty decent distance here. Throwing it hard reverse, using his ER larges. I'm pretty sure he's ER large. I saw it earlier. Oh, he has overheated those. He's not going to get for any fire with that. Leg
and
is
unfortunately,
open.
the 2 lights are available still for Smoke Jays. This is not going to be good for that
run him
Raven.
down as hard as possible. So maybe he can steal another kill away. You know, the Griffin 2N is in pretty nasty shape, but those lights are going to close this one and seal the deal pretty quickly here. Definitely going to outrun that 4X. He's just not as fast as a Firestarter A, who is fresh as hell. So here we go. That is going to be an interesting finish. So what a solid brawl rush. The fact that, you know, they were able to reach brawl distance without losing a single mech.
Yep.
That was huge. That
now, once they
Kintaro
engaged the brawl, they did
tanking.
lose that first mech very
Kintaro,
quickly.
yeah.
But it was all over at that
I'm
point.
sure the Kintaro probably did the least amount of damage. Still pulling 101 for being the lead mech is fantastic. He did a fantastic job spreading. I mean, everything was knocking off of T-Buzz's mech by the time he reached the front. And, you know, I think a large part of that might be the fact that they had a lot of large lasers instead of ER larges. So they weren't able to get any really meaningful damage in on Smoke Jays as they breached over saddle. And that's a decision they have to make. Is like, do they want to be more powerful in the mid range for a potential maybe across the water poke deck? But by doing that, they lose the advantage of killing things earlier as they breach. It's hard to say what could have been truly done different here, besides saying go brawl versus brawl or something like that. But I guarantee you the fact that they had a lot of large lasers instead of the ER large really it allowed them to compete more once they closed into brawl range. But once the brawl started, then the brawl deck still wins out.
Yeah,
if you don't
easily
take somebody down by the time they reach that brawl range, that's where you're gonna start having problems. So let's go check the replay here.
Yeah, and the lights did a great job as well. They got right up in there. They did the right thing. Once the group started to move, the lights just said full speed ahead. We're going to charge in there and just try and break up some of those. They got that Black Knight off the front lines and the engagement.
Yeah, they definitely led with those lights very well. They did a fantastic job.
And they also got that Blackjack to drop down, and he dropped down on the wrong side right in the middle of the brawl and just got destroyed almost instantly for doing so. You would almost like to see that Blackjack kind of maybe try and drop down the back of the island and kind of poke from the side of the island, try and use that range to his advantage. You certainly don't want a mech that powerful, dropping into a situation where it's up against a bunch of small pulse.
Oh man, his head's in the water. I love this. This. I'm watching right now. Tolson is doing his initial charge. It is so hard to get shots on that oxide once he drops in the water like that. I mean, you pretty much have to ignore him, and he gets up essentially unabated up to the Black Knight, and just the damage output for being ignored and being the front mech like that drives him off the front line. And here comes the Kintaro whipping around, still has even an arm left, gets in there, is able to do a little bit more damage to that Black Knight, ultimately gets taken down, but they completely wrecked that Black Knight.
Yep.
Completely wrecked him by the time they got in there.
Once those lights get on the front line, it's basically too late. If the rest of the team is doing their job, and they clearly did, those lights essentially forces the enemy team to have two options. You either ignore them and try and bring someone down, or you break off the front lines, which allows those brawlers to get right on top of you. It's a great thing to do when you're sticking together, when you're rolling damage correctly. And you're right, maybe the ER larges would have allowed them to get a mech down before they got to the island, but I think part of this is just the new structure buffs. Wow, that was bad. The structure buffs.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. Did the Kintaro get favored on the structure at all? I haven't really looked at a Kintaro very much personally, so I don't know really what advantage it's been given to see them come in. Maybe it got a really nice, solid buff.
Yeah.
Was it planned to lead with the Kintaro like that, or did it just kind of fall into that fashion? I mean, whatever it is, that guy did a fantastic job spreading and a fantastic job on the charge. The lights did a fantastic job getting in front of him relatively untouched. Yep. Everybody was twisting like a pro and definitely, solidly went in their favor. So, yeah, if somebody else knows out there or anything like that, is the Kintaro something... Was that done on purpose? Was it a really good choice for some reason? Was it heavily favored in terms of game structure? Because we really haven't seen very many Kintaros, and I'm sure that they probably gave the Kintaro something to make it a little bit more viable. And so, feel free to chime in. Why did we see a Kintaro, and why was it so successful?
Yeah, maybe the Kintaro is the new secret meta that we've just
at
been
least for a brawl
ignoring.
rush charge.
Yeah.
Like it's a fast Atlas or something, right? Holy cow. Yep. So
yeah, that's definitely interesting. But like I said, with the structure buffs and things, SRM's becoming a little bit better. Now it's something where you can bring up brawl and push, and it's that much harder now for a range deck to take that brawl out. I'm not saying it's not possible, but previously, if you brought a brawl against a range deck with the previous iteration of the meta, I mean, you lost. That was just about it. But now, with these structure buffs, things like that, it's not necessarily, I think it's definitely closer to 50-50 in my mind if you can brawl or not against a range deck, and it's much more situational. Clearly, they did a great job of taking what might not be the greatest situation, but kind of putting it in their advantage.
Absolutely. So we're moving into drop 3 now. This is the first conquest of the MRBC match. Well, the next 3 maps will all be on conquest. This is the Commander Assassination map, so no lights on Canyon Network whatsoever, which that could make a big difference. Having those lights able to overwatch and see who's moving up where and stuff, they really play a big part. And the fact that it's conquest and not having lights, definitely going to be interesting to see how these teams handle that. So it is 3 mediums, 4 heavies, and then 1 assault. The assault has to be a Victor. The Victor is the commander mech for Season 7. I like the Victor. I don't think it's necessarily a very viable mech, but that's kind of the reason they pick those mechs, is they want to see those underused mechs in there as commander mechs. It adds a little bit of spice to it. I think the Victor, we might see, maybe we'll see some like Gauss PPC or something, or Gauss ER large or something like that, or maybe we'll see a nice brawl rush with, the thing's got jump jets and you can put a bunch of SRMs in an AC-20.
Yeah,
and
it has
stuff.
jump jets, but with the current iteration of jump jets, I don't know how viable they are. I mean, it's unfortunately assault mechs with jump jets tend to be more like the Hoverlander.
I think it can climb the side of a canyon, though. That's important to
note.
But
not with the speed that you might want in a fast brawl deck.
No, but it's not going to get stuck in a hole somewhere. That's the key. Having that mobility will be important, especially on Canyon Network. But, it's not meant to be a top-tier mech. And so then it starts coming down to who can make the best choice of what to bring for the Victor, and then what pilot do you put in the Victor, because we don't exactly practice Victors all the time. We're not in public queue rocking Victors like crazy or anything like that. So, it's something that might be relatively unknown. So maybe you got this pro secret Victor pilot that can be a little bit more of an equalizer. Awesome, that's makes things more spicy, more interesting. The bonus C-bills for the Victor are only gained if your Victor is left alive and you kill the enemy Victor. So if you both lose them, nobody gets a bonus. Real quick, just on a calculation, what was the kill score again for that last one?
It was 8-3.
3,
I believe.
Okay,
3.
So that means 375,000 total for SiG, and then another 300,000 for Smoke Jays. So that actually gives Smoke Jays the C-bill lead by 100,000 C-bills just from these first 2 matches. Smoke Jays at 475,000, SiG at 375,000. So not including any post-game bonuses or anything like that, but that's just my loose calculation. So,
well, that's kind of what we like to see, I think, though. You had a close match. You'd rather see an 8-7 decision keep the teams close, and then an 8-3 obviously spreads out a little bit more, but that 8-7 decision, you don't want to see a team get penalized essentially for not being able to kill one last mech, sort of thing. So I like to see that. It's and it gives you this impression that a 1-1 game is definitely close. So I like that, but we'll see what they do next. I'm interested to see how some of these matches play out now with Conquest and without light mechs. You have to be thinking ahead the whole time. What am I going to do if I get down on caps? Because you can't just wait until the last 2 minutes of the game and say we're going to make it up. We're going to have our lights run out in cap, because they can't. You don't have them. So it'll be interesting to see how these drop commanders handle that.
A couple of interesting things in chat. They were saying, it'd be interesting if water slowed your mech down. I think that'd be pretty cool. I don't know if that's something they can do, but, you're freaking running your mech through completely up to forehead height in water. You probably should be slowed down a little bit at least. But, and then I saw from Solitude saying not taking ER large lasers on island defeats the purpose of taking island. I agree with that. I think that having the large lasers kind of ruined you there. I'm wondering if that was kind of like they thought that Smoke Jays would come beeline and then maybe try to either charge island from that peninsula, because we don't see very many saddle charges, and that was a very deliberate saddle charge from the start. They knew what they wanted to do from the start. So it might have caught SiG a little bit off guard. They might have been preparing for a beeline push. And then either a trade from island to city, or what we've seen a lot of is them moving from island into water. You got this little bit of a rotation. We just saw that with SJR versus AS. AS came around the peninsula to island. SJR pushed from island back up towards the Theta conquest point, because it was conquest at that point. And we had a little bit of a rotation and working around the city and stuff like that. They might have been planning for that after drop 3. They might have been planning for that, and it didn't go that way, because, I mean, the saddle rush caught me off guard. I don't think I would have necessarily I wouldn't have figured that to be the primary strat, or I wouldn't have considered it to be a viable strat, but I've just been essentially proved wrong. They did a fantastic job with that rush, and it probably had a lot to do with these structure bonuses and stuff like that.
Yeah, like I said, I think those structure bonuses really have made a difference. I'll be interested to see if they roll any of those quirks back in the new patch, and whether that changes how teams kind of approach their strategy. But right now, I definitely think teams are a little more willing to brawl than they had been in the past.
Absolutely. And, you know, I know that they wanted to increase the time to kill and stuff, and maybe they
Speaking
won't roll
of
back.
brawl, guess what Smoke Jays are doing?
I'm seeing a lot of large AC-20 medium laser Shadowhawk 2D. I haven't seen that used in quite some time. But a lot of large pulse and stuff on SiG's side, and they are immediately heading up and moving towards Theta. So you're saying brawl deck for Smoke Jays here?
Smoke Jays are a brawl, yes.
With a summoner.
Absolutely.
Hello, summoner. How are you doing?
Let's go back to that summoner.
Let's take a look there. 5
That's
SRM-6
5
Artemis
SRM-6
and 2
Artemis.
AMS. Wow. I mean, does the summoner have like a hard point AMS that you can't remove, or did they take that on purpose?
I'm assuming that's on purpose. I've never heard of an AMS you can't remove. I only know of the Flamer adder.
So I mean, maybe that's like SRM defense AMS or something. Two clan AMS on that, dude. That is interesting.
They are also running a Splat Cat as well. Tolson and the Splat Cat. I mean, this is a almost pure brawl deck. I do think they have one large.
Tolson needs to open his doors. Open your doors, Tolson.
Yep.
So, well,
Sorry,
that's
Dave.
those guys are curving around, and they are now made. Sace has seen them in the blackjack. They're held up at Theta. Not a very good thing for Smoke Jays. I think this is the most spread out brawl rush I've ever seen. The Splat Cat getting completely wrecked down to 68% before really getting to any effective range. Now the blackjack down to 70.
That blackjack
this
is
the slowest, most spread out brawl charge I've ever seen. Let's see if they can still do something with it. The Stormcrow getting shot down. I mean, everybody up here has taken some significant damage. They are moving up into brawl range,
definitely
but
need to get up. They need to get into a brawl. I mean,
Tolson
they're a
loses an
brawl
ear.
deck.
Yeah, that was I think a mistake, and I think it's going to cost Smoke Jays, but let's see if their pilots can pull something up. We got guys moving up around Theta here. Very split little brawl. Everybody's shooting everyone's way. The Summoner gets completely wrecked down. Griffin 3M charging over, all alone, doing some work against the blackjack, but he's going to get some focus down on him here, and I don't think he's going to live through that. Stormcrow goes down, Uber shoots. Quickly, I would say, going in favor of SiG just by percentages. They did some damage, but that was... I hope they go back to the film on that one and fix that, because there was a mistake made there. Definitely a mistake made by Smoke Jays, and I think it's going to cost them this match. Significantly cost them on this one. So, Hexadecimator in the Victor. Looks like the other Victor is doing just fine.
And down he goes.
Yeah.
I think there's only one mech remaining now.
Goodness gracious. What happened? I mean, I know what happened, but like there was a bad call or something, because that pathing through there, it sucks not having scouts. I will throw that out there. Not having lights is deadly. And my game crashed, because this has been happening quite often. Make sure you get the scoreboard, please, for me while I reboot the game.
Yeah, I'm taking a look at it right now. We've got the quick draw, 547 damage for SiG, 529 from the Hellringer. The Victor, Unfearing in the Victor, did 443, which is the third highest in the game, so good for him. Taking a mech that's, I think a lot of people would say, is not very viable, and doing a good job with it. On Smoke Jays, I think they're definitely going to want to pretend that game did not happen. There's 3 mechs that didn't get
Maybe they were doing an experiment, and
Yeah.
I think they just learned from it, because that was brutal. That was
The Timberwolf, Summoner, and Victor, all 3 didn't break 70 damage on that match. That's tough. It's very tough.
definitely. So I'm showing you a replay now. This is just on the, I guess, the initial run-up here. But yeah, the biggest thing, they're pathing, I don't know if maybe they made an initial call and then audibled it or what, but
Yeah, I'm not sure
SiG,
what exactly that initial move was either.
I think they knew SiG had Theta. Maybe SiG taking Theta alerted them and they made a call based on that, but with mechs on Theta there, they came in at the bottom of the ramp and really kind of
and they hesitated.
allowed that
too.
Sace and the Blackjack, just a beautiful view of his opponents. And that's, oh my god, this is so hard to watch. I'm sorry. Like, this was over from that initial volley from Sace. I mean, there's nothing they can do, and they're not against ER large lasers, so all of the damage going out one-sided here. Somebody was completely cored out there, but, you know, Heat's running up and stuff, but they were never able to make a meaningful charge, and eventually kind of onesie-twosied over the top. You know, Tolson and the Splat Cat, you know, he lost an early ear, was able to toss a couple SRMs, but I don't think he did anything too important there. Yeah, oh man, I know Tolson's out there, and I know you're watching, and you don't have to say anything now, but I'd like to ask you after the fact, like, what happened? Because this is a practice, and so I just want to reiterate that this is not an actual match. So these guys might be just trying something new, but I want to hear from Tolson, like, what happened there? What do you think happened? What can you do better? I mean, you know, let us know, because that was pretty brutal. I think a lesson might have been learned there, and that's going to be great that they're getting that out of the way now, before the season actually starts.
And I think that lesson might have been, don't do that again. I think out of that one, you know, you can either take a lot of different things out of that, of what you could have done better, or you could say, let's just not do that one again. That did not go well at all for Smoke Jays. SiG was in a perfect position. They responded, you know, in the perfect way. They basically just stayed on the high ground and shot down into the canyon like, you know, is shooting fish in a barrel sort of thing. Just not a good situation to be in for Smoke Jays. I think maybe if they had just hard pushed it at the beginning there, rather than kind of breaking off. It looked like they tried to break off, to be honest, and kind of use the canyon as cover, which we all know doesn't really work that well, especially when the canyon you're using for cover is the one that the enemy team's standing on top of. But just not a great situation to be in.
So, I'm loving the chat. It's fantastic. You wanted to do a giveaway, I think?
Yeah, let's we'll do another giveaway here. So, exclamation point raffle in chat. This time I will remember to open the giveaway before you guys find out about it. So you won't have to type it twice, but we'll get it right sometime.
That was crazy. So yeah, I mean that was open your pod bay doors. I love that. So. Just a real quick update on the scores. That one definitely went heavily in favor of SiG. They also kept their commander alive and killed the opposing commander. That puts SiG at 725,000 C-bills and Smoke Jays at 500,000 C-bills. So still relatively close, but you know that one hurts. That one hurts. So good job to SiG at absorbing that partial charge and just completely punishing their opponent for a mistake that was made. If you see Tolson chime into chat or anything, definitely let me know what they were saying there. I need to get back into the game. I've been too busy watching the replay. Let them know I need an invite if you could. So, got a little bit of a treat for everybody today. You might have seen on the Reddit post. This is going to be our first exposure to a competitive ish event on Polar Highlands. So Conquest Polar Highlands for Drop 4. That was chosen by both teams. They want to give it a shot. And I just a quick disclaimer, we don't know whether Polar Highlands is going to be one of the maps in MRBC. However, everybody is waiting to see what competitive Polar Highlands looks like. So this is going to be a nice treat, and it will be exciting to see what happens there. I see Doyle is in chat. He is the MRBC administrator. I know that he had a scrimmage today, and I believe they were running Polar Highlands in that scrimmage. Would be interested to see from the EU side of things what that happened in that scrimmage. How did it go? How did it feel? You know, throw your opinions out there. And maybe it'll give us a little bit of a preview as to what we might see here going into Drop 4. So I don't have the Drop 4 thing set up on my overlay for Polar Highlands just yet. I will get that in there before the next match. I gotta go into the DAT files and pull out all their screenshots and stuff like that. But a Hula Bandit standing cockpit item.
I would be all for that.
Oh my goodness.
And a title that says, like, hey, I've got the Bandit cockpit item on my mech, so please shoot
Everybody
me.
spectate me or something.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. That's...
Yeah, apologies for the spectator, that spectator bug with the little box there. It's when you're switching back and forth between first
Are
and...
you hitting tab too early?
It must be that I'm hitting tab too early or something, but when you switch back...
I've found that since last patch, I have to wait until the mechs actually stand up, like power up, before hitting tab. Otherwise that yellow shit happens, and hopefully they fix that relatively quick. I have been leaving the nameplates up for this stream. Definitely looking for feedback from you guys. Would you rather have the nameplates up? I loved the nameplates, but since they had their last patch... they changed the UI refresh rate to try and save some frames. Unfortunately, the side effect of that was the nameplates stutter really badly when there's more than like 2 mechs. So that's kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
But I've been leaving them up because I feel that, you know, it's not my computer that's having the problem. This is in the game. So I feel like having the information, even if it looks like crap, is probably better, and it's been helping me as a caster to say, okay, well, that's this pilot, like Tolson is in the catapult with his doors closed, something like that, you know. I like having it up. It probably looks worse to you guys. I apologize, but it's out of my control. But yeah, I mean, if it's not too annoying, I'd rather leave them on. So let me know in chat what you guys think. Got the lobby invite from Tolson, popping in there right now. My selected mech is still invalid. I'm bringing a quick draw to your drop, Tolson. I'm bringing my quick draw. I'm readying up.
Yeah,
I'm ready to go.
Put me in, coach. I'm ready to go.
Let's do it. I don't even know if the quick draw has anything to do with like the build you guys are going to bring to the match, but I'm bringing mine. Hard meta, man. 4G, large pulse. Let's do it.
Pretty sure we discovered the Kintaro is the new meta, actually.
Did anyone chime in as to why the Kintaro is...
I saw a couple
used?
people, just a few people in chat say that it didn't really get any buffs.
Really? So
Yeah.
it must have just been a call that they made, and it did work, so it must have been the pilot doing the work then, which he did a great job twisting. Definitely. So... are we gonna see LRMs on Polar Highlands? That's what everybody's been complaining about.
Yeah, I'm imagining the Oprah thing with the you get a car, whatever. Like you get lerms. Everybody gets lerms.
Yep. Polar Highlands. So let's talk about Polar Highlands a little bit. Have you had much experience on Polar Highlands there, MD? We did some team practices on there. Anything beyond that?
I am growing to like Polar Highlands as long as it's not in solo queue. I find solo queue
I guess
to be no fun whatsoever. I find group queue to be fun on Polar Highlands. Maybe... not necessarily, this is not a complaint. I don't have a complaint, to be honest, about Polar Highlands, except for maybe I'd like to see, like, one rock added in certain places. Like, the rocks in River City in the water, in between the cathedral and the bridge where Theta is. Those sort of rocks, they're like maybe a little bit bigger than a mech sort of thing. Definitely hard cover. I'd like to see like one of those sized rocks added in various places where there's not necessarily hard cover. The
At the
only
same
reason
token,
being,
though, I understand why you want that, but I feel
I
like
want it-
that's going to cause people to always gravitate to that location, and it'll create stagnant gameplay. What I
You know
like
what?
about
If
Polar
you wanna
Highlands
try
is
and
it's
stack-
different.
if you want to try and stack 12 mechs behind one of those one mech sized rocks,
They're gonna go there
sit there.
instinctively. They're gonna go to that rock because it's like I've seen
yeah,
people.
it's a magnet. I understand that, but you could make the argument that the buildings are
That's
also
true,
a magnet.
but the
So
biggest
far, I
thing
don't
though
think
is the
they're a problem.
buildings are punishing anyone that uses it, and that's what I like about it too. Is yeah, the buildings are kind of a magnet, and I have been seeing that a little bit. But anybody who takes the buildings has been consistently getting completely wrecked from the surrounding high ground. I mean, the buildings are kind of in a pit almost. It's
Yeah.
very difficult to use them effectively without having some massive flanking force out in the snow. But a rock,
want the
yeah,
rock.
it would be. It would be cool, but it would be tall probably, and it would probably draw people to them
See,
naturally.
I don't want a big rock. That's the thing. It can't be big. It can only be cover for like one mech and one mech
Okay.
alone.
With that token, I would have liked to
Yeah,
see a little
that's
bit
what I'd
more
like to see.
squared edges in the pits. Just occasionally a hard cover like a 90-degree angle, not breaching out from the top. Just occasionally something you can press your mecha up against to avoid some of the LRMs. Now, I personally don't have any issues with LRMs in this mech. Ooh, although I haven't really encountered many narkers or anything, but I mean, anytime there's a spotter, I do my best to kill or drive off the spotter. Narkers are a little bit more difficult because you can't really get away from that. If you have ECM you can use, that's fantastic, but you don't always have that available, especially in solo queue. Having something that you can go to intercept some of the missiles, because currently there's lots of cover everywhere to break locks. That's fantastic. I love all those pits that you can drop into to break locks. That's awesome. Not a
I'm gonna
lot of
jump in
things
here real
that can intercept. What's up?
Congratulations, CS Johnson 15, for winning the giveaway.
Congratulations.
You will receive a message from Bandit, and you are following MRBC League, so good job. Way to go.
He
Keep it
has
up.
won something in the past, but because this is a completely separate stream, he can win again. So congratulations again, you lucky bastard.
Oh, wow.
But no, having something that can intercept some of the LRMs would be nice. But as it stands, I just drop down, do a little bit of a lateral movement, and I just watch the LRMs fly past. Not
The
even an
only
issue.
reason I want a rock is simply the effectiveness of a narc boat in solo queue. That's the only reason. Once you get narked, you are dead.
Well, I mean, having occasionally a little 90-degree angle in the pit would help too with that. just like an ice sheet, an ice sheet, like
something
a
where
drift.
on rare occasions, getting narked isn't equivalent to dying. I'm not saying that I want narc to be, and I don't want it to be everywhere. I want it to be only in a few occasions, and I don't want it to be in a situation that's also a good location for, like you said, with the buildings. The buildings aren't necessarily a great spot on the map, but they are there as sort of the best hard cover.
Let's compromise. I think
That's
both of
fine.
us has fantastic ideas. I don't want a rock that's visible across the map. I do not want a rock that, maybe a hump or something that makes it like, oh, there's the rock, let's go to it. But not like a towering River City rock. I don't want that. But you want something that can break Narc Storm, and that's fine. I agree with that. I do want something that can break some of the LRMs, but I don't want something that pugs will naturally gravitate towards because it's a
I agree
familiar
with that
thing.
too, yeah.
Because it's bad enough that they're already going to the buildings, and the buildings, in my opinion, are a terrible place to go, and it gets them killed. So I don't want any more pugs dying in, save the pugs. In fact, after this match, I have something to put up on screen, which made me laugh.
yeah,
I'm sure a
I'll
lot of
remind
you
you
saw
for
it
that.
already, but I want to put that up.
Yeah, I'm seeing some comments in chat about that. I was thinking on the order of like 4 rocks, like the River City size in the water, no bigger than like one mech basically, 4 of them spread out across the map. And you know what? If all 12 of your mechs want to try and hide behind that one rock, go for it. It's not going to end well for you.
So here we go. I'm over on the Smoke J side right now. Looks like we've got a couple Oxides, so they are bringing their heavy hitter light mechs. ER large, ER large, ER large, ER large, ER large. So definitely bringing the hard range. What do we got over on the SiG side?
SiG is actually a little less of the range. I'm seeing large lasers across the board. A Griffin 2N Brawler, a Misery with an AC-20 on it. This is a little bit more of maybe a medium range to a Brawl deck. A Grasshopper with large pulse. They did bring an Oxide and a Raven 2X with large lasers, but definitely don't have the range advantage here. Their quick draw is a 3 large pulse. They want to brawl.
So a couple things that I just want to bring up, since this is pretty much our first look at Polar Highlands from this perspective. So dynamic spawns. Each team has 3 different places they can spawn into. I'm not sure exactly how that works in private lobbies yet. If anybody's done any science on that, let me know. Because it's Conquest sits up in this like circular thing. And I think that is why we were seeing both teams naturally moving towards Epsilon and Kappa right now, because those are the two sides. That's the side where there was 2 neutral points. And it seems to be the natural progression, and then Theta is clear across the map. Nobody's even thinking about it at this point. So we've got essentially a skirmish-style setup here with 2 points, you know, almost like brain fart here, sorry. We do have a strike. Strikes are legal now, by the way, so we did see our first airstrike come in. A tug of rope is what I wanted to say. We're going to have like a reverse tug of rope with 2 people fighting between Epsilon and Kappa. You know, I don't know, is that what we're going to see more often on this map? Is there any way to counter this? We do have the 2 Oxides cruising around behind in that nice deep cover. They might occasionally pop up and get blipped on, but I don't think that they're going to be really at risk of being discovered over here. So this is nice hidden movement. They have no clue these Oxides are moving through these pits. Very good work at staying down low, and you know, they might poke up to just see. There is a firing line chance over here, but it looks like that might not be the case unless they poke up a little bit too far. We do have some SiG movement. They are kind of pushing towards the ER large side thing, but what a place to set up these Oxides. This could blow up very quickly if it closes in. More airstrikes being tossed out from SiG towards Smoke J's side. Looks like the Oxides are going to opt for Kappa. At the same time, SiG is moving up to try and get into their effective range. They are definitely lower on the percentages because of the size discrepancy, but we might see this de-evolve into a brawl here. The Oxide's moving in all by himself in cover. I mean, I love this map. Look at how he can just kind of cruise up. It looks like, oh my god, he's going to die to us, but it's hard to see the contrast in the snow. He's in cover on the entire run-up, and the Blackjack and the Battlemaster are being left behind back here. We now have a Smoke Chase team that is completely split in half. That could go either very badly or very well for them, depending on whether or not they're able to effectively put any fire down. The Oxide is now chasing the Blackjack and the Battlemaster. I want to say that this is a bad thing for Smoke Chase, the fact that they are split up, because especially they're getting pounded by the Oxide. Nobody's turning to help him. Like, you got the one Enforcer, but, oh, the Battlemaster goes down, and the Blackjack goes down.
Blackjack.
That pretty much confirms that is a very bad thing for Smoke Chase.
And this
now they're working
Enforcer
the
is
Enforcer.
now the next target. He is in trouble.
So you've got Smoke Chase scattering to the wind, which, you know, having ER large lasers, getting distance is fine, but when you don't turn around and use those lasers to help your teammates that are in the back, not good for them. They are up on caps. And this is a big map, but they are down 4 pilots.
Yeah, this Oxide is having a field day right now.
That one Oxide is doing a lot of work, and he went in with purpose. The Oxide is now cutting off the... Well, it's going to be a 1v2 over here. This could get a little bit deadly. We'll see if Dirty Dan can make it through this alive. He's getting hit by both.
Yeah, he's just got to let his
Oxides.
teammates get close
Yep,
enough.
he's going to allow his
so they can
teammates
help
to
him out.
close in, and T-Buzz is getting slammed now by those large pulse lasers. They are retreating. Not a very good trade on that side. they could still win this on caps if they can get the speed, but they are being hunted like dogs. Completely hunted down here. You can just see the intensity of this as they're both running away together. They're, SiG is not letting up whatsoever. They're just chasing. Now, one thing to note, they are still alive. They are getting hurt, but they're still alive. And I'm thinking we're seeing SiG now realizing that they're being led across the map by these two oxides and not focusing whatsoever on caps. Now, I'm not sure if I would have had these two oxides...
But it's only 1-to-1 cap at this point, so it's... Is it?
No, it's 3 to 1.
I lied. It's 3 to 1.
Now, if I was
That's
the oxides,
bunch,
I might have broke for Sigma maybe to try and draw them away from Kappa. They kind of led them to Kappa.
And 2 more Smoke Jays just went down there.
Oh,
so
T-Buzz just went down.
The Hellbringer is still alive, and Tolson in the Oxide.
So we are definitely seeing a cap gameplay here. I guess just my brief analysis, I wouldn't, if I was the two oxides, I might have avoided running straight to Kappa like that. I would have probably taken them to Sigma because you're being chased by the entire team, and they might not have known that. But if you are kiting the team, don't kite them to the point that they want to take from you.
Don't lead them to an objective.
You led them to Kappa, and they have now neutralized and are capping Kappa. That might have been something they could have done a little different. But this Tolson's doing a good job staying alive. He's being hunted by 2 mechs now, so SiG has broken off.
And the Hellbringer actually for Smoke Jays just got a kill, so they not going to be a shutout at this point. But Tolson is in a lot of trouble here. He's got the Raven on top of him.
Yep.
He's not going to be able to outrun him and that Raven's 3 large lasers. So he's got the range and he's got the speed to keep up with that Oxide, and he is about to go down.
Yeah, he's taking him down pretty good. Tolson is unkillable, though, so that's going to work to his advantage. So he's going in for one last hurrah, and he does go down.
He dies.
So all we've got left is the Hellbringer. He is being hunted as well, heading to Theta. Not the fastest mech on the planet, and, it looks like they're going to cut the corner on him as well, so... The tickets are going, but down to just Gamma. I'm pretty sure it's safe to say at this point that it's going to go in favor of SiG, but definitely a good attempt by Smoke Jays. The split up fucking... Oh, man. That's what killed
really...
you.
I mean, they just... Too many mechs got left behind there, and it's... that's really what cost them.
So, instinctively, a lot of people like going ER larges on this map, but the thing I love about it is it's a deceptive map. I feel like on this map, it's incredibly possible to close into brawl range without taking too much significant fire. I mean, this isn't a charge across water at Crimson Valley, or Crimson Strait. This is... You got things you can dip into and approach, and it's very tough for them to get Overwatch with ER large lasers over a pit. So I think we saw a little bit of that here with... basically, you run ER larges, but they can just come up on you anyways. I think large pulses can do well on this map if you know kind of how these veins are set up and which direction they go and what direction you can take. I don't think anybody's fully mapped this map. I definitely have not fully mapped this map. You can't be like, well, there's Saddle, and then there's this highway down Beeline, and then there's the peninsula. I can't say any of that on this map yet, and I'm sure some people, they might have. We've got a ton to learn, but you can't... How do you name that? Let's go into this pit over here because I know it's a little bit deeper and goes in the right direction, It's going to be tough to drop call, but I feel it's like one of those things where whoever learns it the best, and a lot of individual pilots on this map need to learn where these pits are.
Yeah.
It's hard to direct people, but as an individual pilot, drop into the pit here, and it's going to take you into the enemy, The more people play on it, I think we're going to see a lot smarter gameplay, and I think ER larges are going to be a really tough sell on this map.
Yep.
From a competitive standpoint.
Just taking a look at the end of the damage, Soak with the 641 in the Grasshopper 5H, 513 out of that Raven 2X, and the highest score for Smoke Jays was the Quick Draw with Mongo, and 426. Just... Those oxides, unfortunately, spent so much time capping that they only got about 30 damage each, and it's such a waste of a great light mech at this point, especially when the enemy team's running a brawl. I know you're playing Conquest and you want the caps, but just didn't seem like a very organized response to a brawl deck on Polar.
And I suppose I should have mentioned at some point that was going to be the 2222 match. I apologize for not explaining that. It's nice having this little thing at the bottom of my screen that tells me what's coming up next. So not having it there for Polar, I forgot to bring it up. But drop 5 for all of the marbles on Mining Collective. We did see Mining Collective as drop 5 last week too, or during our last stream. 2 lights, 0 mediums, 2 heavies, 4 assaults. Very heavy drop on Mining Collective. Still the same, 1 chassis, 1 duplicate allowed, and strikes are allowed.
Yeah, and this is the Atlas map, right? This is usually where we see 2 Atlases. You have 4 assaults, so 2 Atlases, maybe a Battlemaster and a Stalker or something. I'm not sure what the 4th assault mech might be, but usually you get some pretty darn good brawls out of this engagement, so I'm looking forward to see it. And I agree here, Peach Smash saying in chat, and I think we agree with this, that those Oxides shouldn't have been capping at that point. I mean, against a brawl deck, when they saw that they were pushing up like that, it's such a waste to have those Oxides capping.
I mean, hindsight's 20/20, obviously, but maybe they thought there was going to be a little bit of a standoff. And if there's a standoff, having the back cap would be a nice thing to do. But a call at some point had to be made that, oh shit, they're coming right for us. They're not standing off. They're using cover to get on us, and we're no longer going to be in our, at our optimal range. We're going to be under it, which is dangerous when they should have known right off the bat that those weren't ER large lasers coming at them. Maybe from the Raven or something, but there was a definite discrepancy between the 2 decks, and they needed to analyze that and figure it out. Maybe it had something to do with having... I think their drop commander was in a light on that one, so maybe he deferred that to somebody else or something.
Yeah,
we can speculate all we want what happened there. But at some point, bottom line, a call had to be made that they're closing in, and those Oxides needed to be on top of them. I think the Oxides were in a great position to do some damage, and went for the cap instead, and that was, in my opinion, a mistake. So, where was the breakdown? Was it on the communication side? Was it on the vision side? Maybe they didn't have proper scouting. The lights were not scouting. They stayed in cover, and I was praising that at the start, that they were staying in cover and they were able to move around behind. That was good. Until SiG started pushing. Yeah, and it would have
been good, like you said, if they had engaged from behind, because at that point, then you force the team to either turn around and deal with them, and you have a ranged deck standing on the other side just lighting you up, in theory, or, they have to keep charging the ranged deck with a bunch of Oxides shooting them in the back, which is never a good idea.
And I want to emphasize, I guess, the power of information in this game and the power of communication in this game. Like I said, we don't know what happened, and we don't know what their team speak sounded like, but they had to find out that they were being closed on with a more mid-range deck. They had to relay that information to the rest of their team. I'm not saying the Oxides had to do this. It would have been helpful for somebody to do it, obviously.
Yeah,
but somebody had to find that out. Somebody had to say it, and then somebody had to make the call to go for the charge from behind with the Oxides to try and even things out. Because SiG's Oxide, the 1 Oxide, did a shit ton of work. And just the power of that mech right now completely decimated the retreating Smoke Jays. I mean... I saw in chat they were saying we pushed too hard, and yeah, I guess you did, but you weren't even necessarily pushing on anything because SiG had already gotten onto your rear. It was a little bit of a NASCAR. You didn't push on anything. It looked more like a retreat away from your heavy guys, and they died for it.
And I think they were saying in chat that they weren't expecting SiG to push that hard. I think was what that was them trying to say. They were kind of expecting more of a static game.
And I think that's going to be where knowing the other team's deck as they approach is going to be huge. Information warfare. If Paul wanted InfoWars, this is a great map for that. I'm not saying change anything in the game for it. I'm saying pilot eyes on enemy mechs, make the call. That is the InfoWars that makes or breaks a game. They had an ER large deck, but I didn't want to necessarily say that they were doomed from the start being against a mid-range deck. You can take that ER large deck and do some good things with it if you have the right information and move accordingly. So that's, like I said, this is a scrimmage. These guys need to figure this stuff out before the season starts. Anybody who's watching this, maybe you guys are learning something, and it's not even you in there. So that's fantastic. I'm glad that we can provide that that service to you guys and stuff like that. But this is some really good examples, I think, of mistakes that are being made that everybody can work on and improve.
Yeah.
And all we're gonna get from this is a hell of a lot more teams that know what the hell they're doing, and it's going to be so fun to watch. So I'm really excited for this upcoming season. So I said that I had something I wanted to show you guys when we were talking about Polar Highlands earlier and pug queues and stuff. This popped up today on the forums, and some of you guys might have seen it.
It's beautiful.
Iron Pete Chewalski just sketched this image because he was doing a challenge where you just roll a new account, and you have to pick, or like you are given a random mech that you have to work on, and you're essentially in tier 5. That challenge, cool, yeah, that's kind of cool. I might do that. That's kind of interesting. But this image, this guy sketches this. I think this is fantastic. This artwork
it's a work of art.
is
Beautiful.
a work of art. Like I wanna get a print of this and freaking frame it on my wall, because that's beautiful.
It is, yeah.
Every single time I look at this, by Iron Pete Chewalski, I see something different and even more hilarious. Like the LRM-5 seal is within his minimum range, and just like the missiles are bouncing off. The one next to him, he must be the grizzled veteran with the freaking eye patch. You got the AFK seal sleeping at the bottom. One of them's just chasing a butterfly.
Yeah, that
It's
one's my favorite.
This is like, I love people like this that can just pick up a pen and create shit like this. Like, I gotta get in contact with this guy and have him do some art for me, because he's a fantastic artist, and I wanted to show that to you guys because I definitely think stuff like this need to be showcased to the community. and,
Yeah,
and,
it is.
and
It's
stuff
too
like
good
that.
to pass up at this point. Everyone
So-
needs to know about it.
So he, of course, in that challenge was given the Atlas, and he had to level an Atlas and started seal clubbing. I love the SRMs that he's got with the freaking, what is that called? A maul? I think he's got mauls, and then he's got the club.
Yeah, I'm
with
not
the
up to date on the
AC-20.
technical terms there.
That's fantastic. That is fantastic. He's got the little tear up on his hat and stuff. So definitely wanted to throw that out for you guys to absorb. And Iron Pete Chewalski, you are an artist. Definitely.
Yeah. Way to go. It's a job well done. And I think reading that post, I'll post this on in chat here. It looks like the challenge, you get the mech selected by taking the Battletech what mech would you pilot sort of survey. I guess the Harebrained Schemes Battletech they're putting
okay.
out. They had a survey that's, what's the right mech for you sort of thing, and I guess he got the Atlas from that, and it's the end result is beautiful. It's I think Siri mentioned this on a previous shoutcast that we did a while back, but sometimes I feel like we're doing a little bit of matchmaking here with Reddit and MechWarrior and stuff like that, helping you find the one true mech that's right for you, and I certainly hope that he found the one
It's
that's
the
right
one.
for him with that Atlas.
Some of the screenshots he posted, he definitely did some seal clubbing. I mean,
Yeah.
I played on my wife's account, which she did nothing on, specifically to try and bring down the tier of some of my teammates. We have a lot of casual teammates, and dragging them into tier 1 or matches and stuff never is fun for anybody, really. So I played on her account for a little bit. Oh my god. From playing tier 1 all the time to like a fresh tier 5 match. We gotta focus
Yeah.
on teaching these people basic mech gameplay, and it's PGI's job to do that, but the community can definitely help out. So definitely want to just say, don't jump to criticize unless you're going to do it in a constructive fashion, because these guys are looking to learn. They need to learn what they're doing wrong and stuff.
Or unless your art skills are that good.
Yeah,
Right.
then go ahead, just
Pass.
kill everybody. That's fine. But
But only if your art skills are on that sort of level, or maybe
I see
Frankie's level.
Atlases. 2 Atlas S's for SiG over here. This is gonna be brutal. Battlemaster and a Banshee. I feel like for drop 5, we're gonna be seeing a lot of stuff like this. This is like the dream team. Battlemaster, Banshee, and 2 Atlas S's. Oh, my goodness. Get used to this picture. You're going to be seeing a lot of it unless they do some major overhauls and stuff. But over on the other side, Oxide, a Raven 2X, then a
And
Black
they brought
Knight
out the
Grasshopper.
Orion as well. A Direwolf King Crab and 2 Atlases. Who's surprised? But the Orion is an interesting mech choice. I'd like to see how that does. A lot of people run those as kind of like a mini Atlas in and of itself with S-Traps and AC-20.
I heard you say Direwolf.
I did say Direwolf for Smoke Jays.
We're gonna have to watch this Direwolf and see how he uses it, because I think I don't want to say consensus, but a lot of people have been feeling that the Direwolf has kind of lost a lot of its luster here, and of course the King Crab as well. You know, that might have been an educated decision for this map or something, but you know, let's see how well this Direwolf does. It'll be a good test. Definitely DACA.
There's a
from
heck
those
of
two
a lot of
mechs.
DACA on that King Crab. That's quad AC2s, 2 Ultra AC5s. The Direwolf is quad AC10s or UAC 10s. So there's a lot of DACA here for Smoke Jays.
So we got SiG coming up the C line, kind of just stagnating here, waiting for their assaults. I think they're going to do a push on Theta. In the meantime, we got a D-line push from Smoke Jays here. A lot of UAVs going up. They got good vision, I think, of what SiG has at this point, because there are still, I think, you know, a healthy mixture of UAVs. So I'm not sure what they all know, but they're starting to converge on Theta. So we're going to have a pretty brutal fight across
And here
Theta
comes the Atlas coming right up. Atlas on Atlas.
That
action.
Atlas on Atlas, but where's the rest of their team? Like, where's the other 2 assaults?
Yeah, they got to get
That's
up
the
here.
key difference here is the Battlemaster, the Banshee, and the 2 Atlases are all up here, but you got these 2 Smoke
And that
Jays Atlases,
first Atlas just went
but
down.
the rest of their team's not
Second
there.
Atlas went down.
Both Atlases are down. They did take down the Battlemaster with some pretty brutal DACA, but that was a missed opportunity in my opinion. Just a timing issue of not having the Direwolf and the King Crab right behind those Atlases.
Yeah.
So that's definitely something they need to work on. But
And
let's
the
see what
Direwolf
happens
just
here.
Down.
There goes the Direwolf. So the Orion is fighting around Theta. The heavy DACA's still on the ramp here, but this is going to be a tough fight for Smoke Jays. I think this one was pretty much lost on that Atlas charge. Tolson, come watch the footage, man. See what I see. That was a timing issue. Fix it, and we'll see you guys next season, because that was big. That was big. So good job. But at the same token, okay, so mistake was made. Same token.
And an XL Crab. Ugh.
Same
That's
token,
tough to see in a comp play.
SiG did a fantastic job with their charge up Theta. I mean, it was really a charge versus charge to Theta, and that was expertly executed by SiG, and the scoreboard really shows that. So, good, solid Conquest brawl over Theta. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of that on Mining Collective, because the Conquest, you know, I don't see you doing a lot of whoop-de-doo around the outside. You have to fight over Theta on this one. So on Skirmish, obviously, we had more opportunities to kind of work the corners of the map and stagnate a little bit, but I think that's gone away with Conquest, and that was a good, solid push-through.
And look at the damage. Those 2 Atlases, 661 and 571 for SiG there.
Oh,
that
man.
is a tremendous amount of damage from those Atlases. The Banshee, 448. And you know what? I did say that's an XL Crab. Not a great decision, I think, personally. But he did do 615 damage, Alrath, in that XL Crab there. So, you know, you'd love to see a little bit more play in the Orion. Both the Orion and the Jägermech did fairly well. But, I mean, almost all of the assault mechs for SiG. The Battlemaster was the only one that didn't have a great game. But the rest of those assault mechs for SiG just absolutely great games. Didn't even wind up dying. I mean, that's tough. You can't leave those mechs alive.
Absolutely. So I've got a final, I guess, if my math is correct here, final score. It is obviously 4-1 in favor of SiG. C-Bill score, 1,425,000 C-Bills for SiG on this one, against 575,000 C-Bills for Smoke Jays. So essentially SiG up about almost 3-1 on Smoke Jays. So even though it's a 4-1 score, Smoke Jays did have a couple good matches that gave them some money and stuff. So we did have to throw that out there, that it's not straight up 4-1. The scoring is not based on 4-1. It's based on the C bill. So Smoke Jays did lose this one, and in the last couple ones lost in spectacular fashion. But their first few drops did some work for them. So good job all around from both teams. This is a scrimmage, so this is a learning experience for both teams. You had a giveaway you wanted to throw out there?
Yeah, I'm going to throw the last giveaway out in chat, guys, so stick around for a little bit. You get one more chance to win prizes from us. But, yeah, I agree with you. It's Smoke Jays, probably those last two drops are going to want to go back and look at them, look at the tape, see what they did wrong, and then pretend that they never happened.
Yeah. And it's good that they're getting this stuff out of the way now. It's going to make them better as a team, and I'm excited to see how they grow from something like this. Especially having the overhead view from us, I think that's going to help. Tolson is very good at going back to film and doing something with it. That's, out of anybody that I've really watched, Tolson is a mastermind when it comes to that stuff. So I guarantee you he's watching this. Guarantee you he's going to use it, and I guarantee you they're going to improve because of it. So I'm glad that I can provide that to you guys with this cast, and thank you for allowing us, both SiG and Smoke Jays, allowing us to cast this match and provide that to the community as well. So it's been an absolute pleasure, and I'm glad that you guys are going to be able to hopefully use this and go take it to, I guess, the next level, and then in MRBC Season 7 use that and become better. So, and I did see that you guys have some new members too, so glad that you were able to use this as an opportunity to try and grow those members within your ranks as well, and solidify your roster and stuff like that. So
yeah,
but yeah, man, shit, that was exciting. I mean, the scoreboard says 4-1, but I feel it definitely, especially the numbers, it was closer than that. We got to see Polar Highlands and see what mistakes can be made on that map to cause it to collapse, and what you can do right on that map to cause it to go heavily in your favor. We got to see Mining Collective, really hard Atlas brawl in the center. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of that. It's going to be kind of map specific, but if we do see Mining Collective in Drop 5, I would not doubt seeing something like that pretty damn consistently. But maybe there's a strat that can break it. Somebody's got to find it. Somebody's got to find it. So that was fantastic. I don't have any other matches scheduled right now. I gotta go reach out to some teams, see who wants to do some stuff. I know that Merc Stars Invitational is starting, so I want to throw some hype out there. It is a 12v12 invitational sent out to a lot of really good teams. I might cast some of those. I got to talk to Sace and see. Yeah. I think he wants people to cast them. The first schedule week is upon us, so people know who each other are playing at this point. By the way, we have a match coming up against SJR, Mike.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
By the way, yeah. Happy week 1. So, but yeah, that's so the teams know who they're going to be playing, and so I will probably try and cast some of those. We heard in the town hall a little bit more information about the upcoming tournament. It sounds to me like Russ is interested in, or I guess open to having it not be just a straight 12v12 for the pay tournament, or the big PGI tournament. That's kind of exciting to me. I like smaller gameplay, especially as a caster. I feel
it's a lot easier.
I feel like it's a lot easier, but I can really bring it down to the player level in 8v8s as opposed to 12v12s, where it's like, well, this pack of lights going and doing stuff over here, and this pack of mediums is going and doing stuff over here, and you really can't bring it down to the pilot level as easily. So, I like casting 8v8s. I've had a couple 12v12s under my belt, and I think I definitely prefer 8v8s. That's my personal preference. Some people love playing 12v12s, and that's totally fine. I'm not going to tell you you're wrong. But it's exciting to hear that it's not just a cut and dry, well, the game's built for 12v12, so that's what the tournament's going to be. Tough shit. So it sounds to me like Russ is willing to have a dialogue and figure out what's best and what people want, and that's awesome. So it'll be exciting to see what happens and what decision is made based on the information that comes from the community and stuff like that. So super excited about that. Hopefully they'll let me cast some of those too. That'll be pretty fun. But as for you guys, I mean, I see a lot of people out there watching this, and that's awesome. I'm glad that you guys are consistently coming out. We haven't had a bad shoutcast yet in terms of attendance. You guys are really dedicated and have been a fantastic community to work with, and I love doing this for you guys, and I want to keep doing it for you, and I'm sure MD feels the same way. You know, it is a lot of work going out there and setting up these. You know, we don't just hop on and just start talking. We got some prep work to do and things like that. So it takes some time, but I have no problem doing that. I love doing that, and I love that you guys seem to be thankful for it. And
Yeah,
I've
we
gotten a lot
appreciate
of
it.
really good feedback from you guys, and we're really doing this for you guys too, so you can watch more of this stuff. And as for all you European guys who, obviously these matches have been relatively late, we get way more views on our YouTube videos than we have live viewers, and I know that's you European guys out there that are tuning in and stuff, and gotta give you guys mad props too for following along. I mean, you don't really have a lot of stock in these NA teams, but you're still tuning in to watch some good solid MWO gameplay, and I thank you guys for tuning in, and I've gotten a lot of really good feedback from you guys too off the air. So that's been...
Congratulations to Blue Area 1146, just won the giveaway.
Awesome.
Final giveaway of the night, so there you go.
Are they following?
They are following. Yes, we've got a good job with the follows tonight, guys. And make sure that if you haven't already followed, please do follow both MRBC League and Bandit B17. Do not follow me. I don't do any of this streaming. Bandit does. But that'll let you see our casts when they go live. Any other things that we might be doing that aren't with MRBC League as well will be on Bandit's channel. So you can watch that there.
I will be casting all MRBC matches on this channel, though,
Yes.
so make sure you follow both so you can follow along. I do host this channel from my channel, but it doesn't send an email to my followers, so make sure you follow both to really watch both. And there are other streamers that will be using MRBC League as well. It's not just me and MD doing this. There are other streamers out there, so this will give you guys the maximum exposure to everybody, basically. So, so yeah, I mean, that's cool, and I'm excited to some of the changes that they were talking about making. You know,
Yeah, it's a lot of potential that was announced, I think, in that town hall. This last one seemed to be maybe a little more of some exciting things than we're used to getting. I know we usually get a lot on these town halls, and then sometimes it feels like it takes a while to get what they talk about, but this one seemed like it had even more than what we're used to, so hopefully it turns out pretty well.
absolutely. So, completely unrelated to MWO, I just, my birthday's coming up, and me and a bunch of friends celebrated. We went to an escape chamber. If anybody likes logic-based stuff, you gotta go try one of those things. That was freaking cool. They lock you in a room for an hour, and you have to, like, find clues and use logic to get yourself out, and it's like going from puzzle to puzzle to puzzle to puzzle. That was the coolest goddamn thing. So it's well worth the money, so I'll definitely do something like that again. I just gotta throw that out there. It was a very positive experience, and I know they're all around the country, so if you haven't done one, you know, I think they're called, like, escape chambers or escape or something. Definitely try it. The next one we're going to go to,
Yeah.
they actually handcuff you at the beginning, too. So you have to, like, do everything behind your back and unlock each other's handcuffs and stuff. So that'll be pretty cool. So
If you're into that sort of thing.
if you're into that sort of thing. But my friends all had a good time and everything. So
Okay, nerd, that's enough.
All right. Well, I think that's it for today. Thank you, everybody, for coming by. Definitely, if you have any feedback, toss it our way. And look forward to casting for you guys again in the future.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
See you later.
Pay attention to the paper doll. Make sure you guys are shooting the correct legs. Be careful of the collisions. I don't want to hear complaints about it. Work around it. Let's play this game.
I need another heavy. I've got TB and a quick draw.
I want to get fairly tight to it. Now, anybody who's going to be working range, I'm going to need you to fade right on this. And anybody who's running short is going to stay towards the top of the call there if we're going to come at them.
I have you in the Griffin.
Sounds good.
Well, that's the thing. We got to get to brawling range, so I may be moving us, right up to the hoop if we have to.
Wolverine nach Charlie 4.
It's fine, chill the f*** out, man. It's fine. It's just a 5-starter.
Komm Leute, redet miteinander.
15 seconds.
Yeah, Echo, stand
Don't
by.
die.
Guys, we're
15
winning.
seconds,
We're
don't
winning,
die.
guys. 3, 2, 1.
Charlie Dar, CT yellow. Okay, go for Charlie, see if we can get it.
There. To your left, there's a... Acceleration. So, jetzt guys, hinter die Indie-Pockens, hinter die Indie-Pockens.
Mediums be prepared to pull back E40 towards the E5 border. On my mark.
Left side, come on! Like now, I need strikes on OP barrel. Wire our strikes up.
Die Hauptgruppe rechts, Uferlinie.
They have 3 mechs sitting on the left side when you pass over.
Overheating is bad.
Both legs on the Griffin. Get the Griffin.
Oh yeah. Sorry about that. That was such a
That's right. I'm gonna spawn Lance, you guys in Charlie. Lance, you guys in Bravo. That's B2C1.
This third drop is 2 lights, 2 mediums, 2 heavies, 2 assaults.
Jetzt in die Breite, zieht euch in die Breite.
Lights, watch our backs. We're gonna about base and take up position in Bravo 6.
Ja, kurz Aufschaltung Delta 4, 3 Stück, 2 Mediums, ein Light, wie ich es richtig gesehen habe.
Make a firing line. C4 Tactical Hill, boys. Fox.
Laufen unter ECM, hab 2 durchlaufen, 10 Bravo 4.
And get ready to hit people coming from our right.
Charlie on the left. Charlie, a Hellbringer on the left.
Okay, let's group up towards the left. We're gonna press through Bravo 3 to Bravo 4. I think they're kind of spread out. Check yourselves, make sure you've got, UAV cool shot. Here they come, they're pushing hard, guys.
Decro. Tez on.
Go.
Oh, got a contact here, Bravo 3.
Nice, Marshall. I'm on Delta Griffin.
We'll get cross it then, get in their face. They got a highlighter, they just push up on Theta. We need help on Theta. Up on Theta. Yep, that's the noise. Go. Let's finish this. Full pressure, guys. Full pressure. They're down low. They're down low in Charlie 3. Get the f***ing arm, Jackson.
Jackson, cool shot.
Golf. I got him.
Go, B3, go.
Echo, go.
Get over on your medium, guys. Get Echo Stormcrow. God, I suck as a pilot, but thank I packed my skill. I'm sorry that you died, sweet girls, but we will send a reasonably nice letter to your family.